He sat across from me, shoulders slumped, hands resting on his knees. Mr. Harris, 71, had once been a builder, strong, capable, proud. But now, his muscles had faded. His grip was weak. Even standing from the chair took effort. He looked at me and said, "I just want to feel like myself again, not like someone fading away." That moment hit me, because so many of my older patients say the same thing in different ways. They're not just worried about aging, they're mourning the parts of themselves that feel lost. We tried all the usual advice, more eggs, more protein, strength training, but his recovery stayed slow until we looked east. Japan, where 70-year-olds walk to the market, garden for hours, and rarely lose muscle the way we do. One part of their secret? A simple green leaf called shiso, or Japanese perilla, rich in plant compounds that stimulate collagen production up to 8 times more effective than eggs, a leaf so common in Japan's kitchens, yet nearly unknown in the West. After just a few weeks of adding it to his meals, Mr. Harris stood taller. His steps grew steadier. He smiled more. And today, I want to share this small but powerful discovery with you. Because growing older should not mean growing weaker. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching this from? And what time is it for you right now? Please let me know in the comments below. I truly look forward to reading them. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Why losing muscle after 60 isn't your fault. When patients over 60 come into my clinic, I often hear the same frustrated line. "I don't understand. I'm eating well. I'm walking every day, but I just keep getting weaker." And every time I remind them, this isn't your fault. It's biology. After the age of 60, our bodies naturally begin to lose muscle mass and collagen at a much faster rate. This process is called sarcopenia. It's part of aging. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. Muscle isn't just about strength. It supports our joints, helps prevent falls, protects our bones, and even boosts our metabolism. And collagen? That's the silent hero holding everything together, from skin and tendons to muscles and bones. Without it, our bodies become fragile, less elastic, and slower to heal. Here's the part most people don't realize. Even if you're eating healthy, you might be missing the key ingredients that support collagen and muscle regeneration. Many typical American diets focus on animal protein, like chicken or eggs. That's not bad, but it's not enough. As we age, our digestion slows, and our ability to break down and absorb certain proteins decreases. That's why many older adults eat more, yet build less muscle. Meanwhile, in Japan, elders follow a different path. Instead of relying solely on animal-based proteins, they focus on variety. Leafy herbs, fermented foods, sea vegetables, all rich in micronutrients and plant-based compounds that enhance collagen production, not just add protein. The problem isn't that your body is broken, it's that it needs a different kind of fuel. Let me explain it like this. Imagine your muscles are a house. Protein is the bricks, but collagen? That's the cement. Without it, the structure can't hold. So when we only focus on eating more protein, especially the same types like eggs or meat, we miss the whole picture. What I've seen time and again is that the most powerful changes come not from eating more, but from eating smarter. And often, that wisdom comes from looking beyond our borders, to places like Japan, where aging looks very different. In the next section, I'll show you how Japanese elders stay strong into their 70s and beyond, starting with what they put on their plate. But first, take a moment to check in with yourself. Are you feeling weaker than you used to? Are everyday tasks slowly becoming harder? You're not alone. And there is a gentler, natural way forward. How Japanese elders stay active well into their 70s. In a quiet neighborhood of Kyoto, there's a small garden behind an old wooden house. Every morning at 6 a.m., 75-year-old Mrs. Tanaka steps outside, barefoot, to tend to her herbs and vegetables. She moves with grace, not fast, but steady. She doesn't use a walker or rely on pain medications. Her hands are strong. Her knees bend easily as she squats to check her perilla leaves, her miso ferment, and her small patch of shiso. I met Mrs. Tanaka during a medical study tour in Japan, and what struck me wasn't just her energy, it was her routine. She starts her day with hot water and fermented plum. Then breakfast, a small bowl of rice, miso soup, a piece of grilled fish, and a few fresh green leaves from her garden. One of those leaves? Shiso, the same leaf we're talking about today. When I asked her what keeps her feeling so young, she smiled and said, "I eat with gratitude. I chew slowly. I care for my plants, and they care for me." There's a word for this in Japan. Shokuiku. It means food education, but not in the strict textbook sense. It's a philosophy that teaches children and reminds adults that food is not just fuel. It is medicine. It is balance. It is respect for nature and for your body. Unlike the Western approach to aging, which often involves supplements and strict diets, Japan embraces natural rhythms. Meals are balanced, light, and seasonal. Portions are small, but rich in nutrients. And elders like Mrs. Tanaka don't eat for protein. They eat for harmony. What's remarkable is that Japan has one of the highest life expectancies in the world. And it's not just about how long they live, but how well. Most Japanese elders remain physically independent well into their 80s. They walk, garden, cook, and participate in community events without the daily struggles many older Americans face. Why? Because their meals aren't just nutritious. They're collagen smart. Their diets include foods that stimulate the body's own production of collagen and support tissue repair. Mrs. Tanaka doesn't count calories. She doesn't drink protein shakes. But every bite she takes works in harmony with her body's needs. This is what inspired me to introduce the shiso leaf to Mr. Harris. It's more than a plant. It's a symbol of a different way to age. Shiso leaf 8X. More collagen support than eggs. If you've never heard of shiso, you're not alone. In Japan, it's as common as parsley is in American kitchens. But unlike parsley, this humble green leaf carries a powerful secret, a natural ability to support collagen production up to 8 times more effectively than eggs. Let's break it down gently. Collagen is made from amino acids, specifically glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. While animal-based foods like eggs and chicken contain these, shiso leaf goes a step further. It offers not only the amino acids, but also plant-based compounds that help the body absorb and use them more efficiently. One of those compounds is rosmarinic acid, a natural anti-inflammatory that helps protect tissues from breakdown. Another is alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that supports skin elasticity, joint health, and muscle recovery. But here's the real magic. Shiso doesn't just provide the building blocks, it encourages your body to turn those blocks into real repair. This means for older adults, especially those with weaker digestion or lower protein absorption, shiso acts like a gentle helper, guiding the body to rebuild what time has taken. In one study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, shiso extract was shown to enhance collagen synthesis in skin and muscle tissues. Another Japanese study on aging populations found that frequent shiso consumption was associated with better joint mobility and less muscle stiffness, especially in women over 65. But the proof isn't just in the lab, it's in the kitchen. In Japanese households, shiso is often eaten raw, torn into cold soba noodles, wrapped around sushi, or chopped into pickled plum rice balls. Some brew it into tea, others make smoothies, or add it to soups. The taste? Lightly minty, slightly spicy, with a fragrance that wakes up the senses. It's not overpowering. It blends well. And most importantly, it's gentle on the stomach. When I introduced it to Mr. Harris, I asked him to start small. Just 1 or 2 leaves a day, chopped into a salad or stirred into miso soup. Within a few weeks, he noticed that his knees hurt less when standing. He no longer felt as stiff getting out of bed. We didn't change the rest of his diet, just added this 1 leaf. That's the beauty of food as medicine. It doesn't have to be drastic. It just has to be consistent. So if you've been relying on eggs, meats, or powders to build strength and haven't seen results, don't be discouraged. Your body might simply need a new kind of signal, one that says, repair is possible. And shiso sends that signal in the quietest, most natural way. In the next part, I'll show you 3 traditional Japanese meals that combine shiso with other healing ingredients. Meals that not only nourish, but comfort, just like home cooking should. But for now, let this idea settle in. Maybe healing doesn't come from eating more. Maybe it comes from eating wiser, with nature as your guide. 3 comforting Japanese meals that combine shiso with collagen-boosting ingredients. In Japan, food isn't just about flavor, it's about healing. The meals prepared by elderly hands often carry more than taste. They carry memory, care, and wisdom passed down through generations. And when it comes to maintaining muscle and joint health, the Japanese don't turn to supplements. They turn to the kitchen. Here are 3 simple, nourishing meals that combine shiso with traditional ingredients known to support collagen and muscle health. Each one has a story and a reason behind its power. 1. Miso soup with wakame and shiso. Every morning, 82-year-old Mr. Kondo from Sapporo starts his day with a small bowl of miso soup. It's warm, grounding, and easy to digest. Inside the bowl, soft wakame, seaweed, cubes of tofu, and a fresh shiso leaf torn just before serving. Why it works? Miso is a fermented food that supports gut health and enhances nutrient absorption. Wakame is rich in iodine and minerals, and shiso adds anti-inflammatory compounds and gentle collagen support. Mr. Kondo once told me, if I skip my soup, my knees tell me. It's not just breakfast, it's daily medicine. 2. Grilled salmon rice bowl with pickled shiso. At a small coastal town in Okinawa, Mrs. Yui, 76, still fishes with her son. Lunch in her home is often simple: grilled salmon over rice with thinly sliced pickled shiso leaves on the side. Why it works? Salmon is packed with omega-3s that reduce inflammation and support joint tissue. Shiso, especially when pickled, retains its nutrients and adds a probiotic effect, aiding digestion and collagen absorption. She eats slowly with chopsticks in silence. No TV, no distractions. This mindful pace improves digestion and nutrient uptake, something modern science now confirms. 3. Natto with chopped shiso and scallions. Natto is a polarizing food, sticky, strong-smelling fermented soybeans, but it's a staple in the diet of Japan's longest-lived people. Dr. Watanabe, an 85-year-old retired physician from Tokyo, swears by it. He mixes his natto with chopped shiso and scallions, eating it with rice or a soft-boiled egg. Why it works? Natto is one of the richest sources of vitamin K2, which helps guide calcium to bones and away from arteries. It also contains nattokinase, an enzyme that supports circulation. Adding shiso enhances the taste and brings in plant-based collagen boosters. Dr. Watanabe says, "It smells strong, but so does medicine, and this one tastes better." These meals don't rely on high-tech powders or complex recipes. They're gentle, time-tested, and deeply human. If you're not ready to dive into full Japanese cooking, that's okay. Even adding just a few shiso leaves to your soup, salad, or sandwich can bring you closer to the kind of nourishment that heals. And if you're wondering where to begin, don't worry. In the next section, I'll walk you through how to find shiso, how to store it, and how to fit it easily into your own meals here in the US. But for now, imagine this: a warm bowl in your hands, a calm moment to eat, and a sense that your food is not just feeding you, it's rebuilding you. The quiet strength of eating slowly. How Japanese mealtime habits boost collagen naturally in the West. Eating is often rushed, meals grabbed between errands, eaten in front of a screen, barely chewed, and quickly forgotten. But in Japan, especially among the older generation, eating is almost sacred. It's slow, intentional, quiet. I once visited a small countryside clinic in Yamanashi Prefecture, where a group of elders gathered weekly for shared lunch and gentle stretching. What struck me most wasn't their flexibility or balance, it was the way they ate. No talking during bites, no phones, just silence, chopsticks, and the steady rhythm of chewing. One woman, 80 years old, said to me with a smile, "I chew each bite 30 times. It makes the food softer and the soul calmer." There's wisdom in her words. When we eat slowly and chew thoroughly, we activate more saliva enzymes that begin breaking down food before it even reaches the stomach. This is crucial for older adults whose digestion naturally slows with age. It also helps extract more nutrients, especially from collagen-supporting foods like shiso, miso, tofu, or natto. But there's something else that happens when you slow down. Your body shifts from a stress state, fight or flight, into a healing state, rest and digest. In this calm state, your gut absorbs nutrients better, your blood flow improves, and collagen production, the silent repair work inside your joints and muscles, gets a chance to turn on. This is why many Japanese elders, even without high-protein diets, maintain flexibility and strength. It's not just what they eat, but how. Mr. Harris, the patient I mentioned earlier, used to eat while watching TV, barely noticing the food on his plate. Once we introduced shiso into his meals, I also asked him to turn off distractions. Light a candle, breathe before eating. Notice the flavor, feel the warmth. At first, he laughed, but weeks later, he told me, "I don't just feel stronger, I feel more present." That's when I knew this wasn't just about nutrients. It was about a relationship with food, with healing, with aging itself. So here's something you can try today. At your next meal, take 1 minute to breathe before you begin. Chew your first bite 20 to 30 times. Set your fork down between bites. Notice the smell, the texture, the temperature. It may feel strange at first, but in time, it becomes a kind of gentle meditation, and your body will thank you with better digestion, steadier energy, and yes, more collagen absorption, how to add shiso to your daily meals, and where to find it in the US. You don't have to live in Japan or even cook Japanese meals to benefit from shiso. One of the most common questions I get after introducing this leaf is, where do I even find it? The good news is, shiso is becoming more available in the US, especially in areas with Asian grocery stores or international markets. You may find it labeled as shiso perilla leaf, or sometimes even beefsteak plant. Though that name doesn't do it justice, look in the fresh herb section, often near basil or mint. You can also find dried shiso or powdered shiso seasoning online, which still retains many of its anti-inflammatory benefits, though fresh is best for collagen support. Once you have it, here's how to start. Gently, simply, without changing everything overnight. Morning. Shiso tea or smoothie boost. Boil water and steep a few fresh shiso leaves like tea. The aroma is calming, and it gently stimulates digestion. If you prefer smoothies, blend a small leaf with banana, almond milk, and a scoop of plain yogurt. The shiso adds a slight minty freshness that balances sweetness beautifully. This light start supports your gut and primes your body for better nutrient absorption throughout the day. Afternoon. Add to salads or sandwiches. Chop or tear a leaf into your salad. It pairs well with cucumbers, tomatoes, soft cheese, or avocado. Think of it like a more fragrant, healing version of basil. You can also layer it into sandwiches, especially turkey or tuna, where it adds a subtle lift without overpowering the flavor. It's not about changing your meals, it's about enhancing them. Evening. Stir into soup, rice, or light sautés. Add shredded shiso to miso soup, bone broth, or even vegetable stew just before serving. The warmth releases its oils, and the nutrients remain intact. Stir it into cooked rice with sesame oil and sea salt for a quick, collagen-friendly side dish, or sauté with mushrooms and tofu for a light, restorative dinner. How to store it. Wrap fresh shiso leaves in a damp paper towel and place them in a zip-top bag in the fridge. They'll keep fresh for 4 to 5 days. You can also freeze them in olive oil using an ice cube tray. Just add a cube to soups or sautéed dishes when you need it. Start with 1 to 2 leaves a day. That's all it takes to begin. You don't need handfuls. Like most healing plants, shiso works in gentle, consistent ways, not in bursts. And if you're someone who feels overwhelmed by dietary changes, remember, you're not reinventing your diet. You're inviting in a new guest, one leaf at a time. Just as I guided Mr. Harris to take it slow, I encourage you to treat this like a quiet ritual, a moment of care, not a task. If you can build the habit of adding just 1 leaf to your day, you'll be surprised at how your body responds over the next few weeks. What you might notice, after 4 weeks of adding shiso, healing doesn't always announce itself with big changes. Sometimes it whispers. You wake up one morning and notice your joints don't ache quite as much when your feet touch the floor. You reach for the cupboard and realize you didn't grunt or brace yourself. You go for a walk and feel steadier, like your legs are more yours again. These are the quiet signs that your body is responding. And for many of my patients who've added shiso into their daily routines, these changes begin to show within 3 to 4 weeks. Not because shiso is a miracle, but because your body is always trying to heal. Sometimes it just needs the right support. Here's what some people have noticed. Less morning stiffness in the knees, hips, and lower back, improved digestion, especially when paired with slower eating habits. better sleep due to the calming anti-inflammatory compounds in shiso, slight increases in energy, particularly in the afternoon. A subtle but important shift, more connection to their meals and their bodies. One woman in her 60s told me, "I don't feel young again, but I feel back in tune with myself." That's the power of small, consistent change, not to erase age, but to restore balance. If you're someone who's tried supplements, diets, or pills without results, don't lose hope. The problem isn't your effort. It may just be the wrong signal for your body. Shiso isn't loud, but it is steady, natural, supportive, and over time, it helps your body remember how to rebuild itself from the inside out. Aging is not a failure. It's not something to fix or fear. It's a process, a beautiful, sometimes tender transition that invites us to care for ourselves more deeply than ever before. You've just learned about a simple leaf, shiso, that supports collagen, calms inflammation, and helps your body stay strong naturally. But more than that, I hope you've been reminded of something deeper. You don't need to chase drastic diets or expensive supplements to feel better. You just need the right tools, the right rhythm, and a little bit of trust in your body's quiet ability to heal. So wherever you are on your journey, whether you're already active or just beginning to rebuild, know this: small steps count. A single shiso leaf, a slower meal, a softer morning. These aren't minor. They are your new foundation. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video brought you comfort or clarity, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What part spoke to you the most? And please, subscribe if you haven't yet. We'll continue exploring gentle, powerful ways to care for your body through the wisdom of Japan and the science of healing. You're not alone in this, and you're not powerless. Let's keep walking forward together.